Hello, welcome to this next substance sampler tutorial. In this we're going to have a look at the cloth weaver. So I've just started a new project, it's blank default, and if we look in our library here and type in weave, we'll get, if I could actually type, there we go, we'll get cloth weave. And if you drag and drop that over onto your stack here, it will have a quick process and then come up with the default, which is kind of a standard, plain weaved material. So the first thing that we can do with this is actually change the weave. So we've got all sorts of things here. So we've got a plain weave, we've got a basket weave, twill and herringbone and all sorts of things. So you can pretty closely control the sort of material you want. And since the weave is very much a property of how materials look, when it's rendered, having the right weave in it makes a real difference. So I'm going to pick satin 5.2 because I'm going to go for a kind of satiny material, which makes sense. So we can control how many strips of yarn, piece of yarn, lengths of cotton, don't know what to say really, are in our pattern. So let's put that up to 16 just to give it a little bit more oomph. There we go. And underneath that we've got a size multiplier. So I mean, you can, I've got a 2048 by 2048 tile here, which is probably a little over the top for a piece of cloth. So I'm going to go to 1024 or 1024. So within this 1024 kind of area, I've got 16 by 16 weaves, and 1024 is quite, quite a chunk of a texture. So I might actually want that to be considerably higher. Let's try 48 by 48. There we go. That's a bit more like it, I think. So with that then, we've got our fiber tensions. Now the tensions is going to control just how straight these are. If we set the warp tension to 1, you'll see it's very, very straight. It's absolutely taut, and if I reduce it, you'll see it becomes more and more kind of relaxed and loose. And similarly for the weft, the horizontal threads, I can control that as well. Let's pop that back to default. Then we've got a color mode. So we've got a color mode for the warp and for the weft. So we can control the vertical and horizontal colors. The default is unicolor, but we can switch it to bicolor. So in that way, we can have multiple colors in one piece of cloth, which is excellent. It's very useful. But I'm going to put it to just unicolor for the moment. And now, even though this is unicolor, I can separately control the color for the warp and the weft. So that's really handy. Now underneath that we've got our control areas for the warp and the weft. If I go into the warp, it tells me what the color amount is. I can have 1, 2, 3 or 4, and that's for that particular thread. So if I go to 2, you'll see now in that thread I've got 2 colors, not just having 2 separate color threads as in with the color mode. This is within the actual thread itself, so we can go up to 4. So you can really customize that as much as you want. I'm going to leave it at 1. We can update the width and an offset. So the width currently is 0.75. If I increase that to 1, you'll see it closes up the gap quite a lot. So you can very much control what's going on with that. So we also have different thread types. So we've got our yarn, which is like a twisted thread, or we can have a monoply, which is a single thread. I think if I go to the normal, it's much more visible. If I zoom in, you'll see our horizontal here is a yarn, and our vertical is like a monoply. So now it's a yarn. Now we can go to a 3-fold yarn or a ribbon fibre, you know, so you've got all sorts of different things that you can, you know, you can use for this. I'm going to leave it on yarn, I think. Yes. Okay, let's switch back to our base colour for a moment. And of course we have the colour of the fibre. Now you can, you know, define your colour within here if you wish. I prefer to have a little bit more control outside of the project, and since I'm just going to use images, not a substance itself, I'm going to put that to white. Now here's the exciting thing, or I think it's the exciting thing. We have a finish. So if I switch that out, we've got a few different finishes we can use. So we've got our cotton, a polyester, a synthetic glossy and metallic, an isotropic metallic and an isotropic synthetic. And if I switch over to my roughness channel and switch this from cotton to say polyester, you'll see, you know, the vertical threads, the warp threads go darker, and they're going to reflect much more. And because we can do that for both our warp and our warp and our weft, you know, we can have two different styles to get, you know, different effects. You know, part of the, you know, joys of silk and satin and such like is that it's the way they're woven and the fact that they can weave different kinds of threads together, which gives them their kind of shimmery, you know, property. The fact that it, you know, from one angle it looks like one thing, from one angle it looks like another, you know, it makes that big difference. So, you know, this really gives you great control over that. It's not perfect, in my opinion. I would like to be able to manually set, you know, the grey level. As it is, I've got 4 or 5 different options, and I don't really see a way of controlling that. You know, I might be able to do that outside of the program, you know, maybe adjust the levels somewhere, you know, within an image editor. But here, you know, we're quite limited. Right, let's have a look at advanced. So advanced, then we've got our imperfections and such like. So imperfections, always important. If I increase that, you'll see it starts to become either more or less perfect. And I imagine that will you know, that will interact very well with the thread tensions. You know, if you've got it very tight, then your imperfections are going to be very small. If you've got it very loose, then they're going to be very large. So let's get to something along those lines, I think. And we also have the normal intensity and the height position. If I go to normal and increase the normal, sorry, that's the wrong one. Normal intensity, you'll see that becomes a much stronger normal. I don't really feel the need to do that here, so I'm going to leave it in the middle. So let's have a look at height. So the height position is at 0.5, and what that means is that neutral grey will not displace. The very middle grey won't move up or down. So in that respect, you can have up and down displacement. So for the darker displacement will displace downwards, and for the, you know, the whiter values will displace upwards. If you go to the very bottom or the very top, then, you know, it kind of goes the other way. So yeah, I would advise you leave it where it is, or adjust it suitable to your target application. So that's good, I think. We have ambient occlusion, which I'm not going to use, and we have opacity as well, which, you know, we could use to, you know, poke holes in our weave. So let me zoom out a little bit, and I'm just going to adjust my displacement. I'm going to take the displacement down a little bit. It's a little high, 0.01. So that looks more like it, doesn't it? It was looking a little kind of crunched. halve that again. There we go. Okay, so there we have it. Just need to change my fiber color here so that I can do, you know, like some color overlay later in another application, and we're away. But obviously, you know, if you wanted to create a you know, a colored one, then, you know, add your colors as you wish. Okay, so to export this, we've got a couple of options. We can either publish it straight to either Designer or Painter, or even out to 3D Stage, or in my case I'm going to export as an image. So let's give this a title, satin. I've got base color, normal, roughness, metallic, height selected. I've got a directory to export to. I can create a subfolder within that. I've got my format, so I can do an SBS AR or an SBS, EXR, JPEG, etc, etc. I'm just going to use PNG, I think, and 20 by 48 by 20 by 48. I'm going to make that 1024 by 1024, and let's export that. So you'll see over here you've got a queue, and when it's finished it will look something like this. So let's just get rid of that, and when I come back I'm going to, you know, just use this in an application to show you what it looks like. So I'll talk to you then. Okay, so I'm in Substance Painter and I've just added a fill layer with color, roughness and normal, and I've imported my assets in. They're in the current session, I think, under textures. Yeah, I've got two of each. One's at 2048 and one's at 1024. Thought I'd give myself an option, and this is what we have. So yeah, instead of kind of a very flat material, we have quite a nice sort of shiny in places material, if that makes sense, with a weave. And I think the weave makes it's a big difference. I mean, without it, I mean, if I turn the normal off, you see we kind of lose a level of detail. And let's pop that back on, and if I turn, well, and off again, and if I turn the roughness off, you know, we get another level. So having that extra detail in there, the roughness and the normal, is really making a difference to the realism of our piece. So I wanted to show you, and I mentioned in the previous section about adjusting the roughness map afterwards. If on my fill layer I right click and add a levels, I can use this then to change just the roughness channel. So if I flip over to roughness for now, we can see what our roughness map looks like. We've got a darker grey and a lighter grey, and some even some whites in there. So we can adjust these to deal with that. So if I drag the output black down, it's going to include less black in the output essentially, so it's going to lighten everything up. Similarly, if I push the output white up, it's going to darken everything. So darkening everything in this particular instance is going to make it more shiny. So let me put that to about half, and I'll switch over to the material view and zoom out a bit. Let's just rotate that around, and if I then pull that back, you should see there is a bit of a difference. We're not getting quite so much shine off the default, whereas if I push it right up this way, it's going to be, you know, heading towards completely shiny. Similarly, if we use the input handles, the top handles, switch over to roughness again. If I push the black towards the middle, I'll get more in this case. So that's going to make it super dark. So let's push that down to somewhere about there. And if I push the white in, my lights are going to lighten up. So in that way I can get a contrast between the warp and the weft threads. So let me have a go at that. Somewhere around there. I want there to be some shine to it, but just not very much. So the very black threads now, or the very dark threads, are going to be very, very shiny, and the other ones are not. So let's go back to our material, and again we can have a flip around, have a look. If I leave it at that point where it's quite intense there, and then reset it back, we should see a minor difference. So yes, you can, you know, really affect this. You can really, you know, push this map until, you know, you get to where you want to be. You know, sometimes it's very subtle, but you know, very subtle in texturing world can make quite a difference. Okay, so yes, I hope you found that useful. I hope you got something out of it. You know, the cloth weave, you know, is going to be good for all sorts of things. You know, just giving yourself a base. You could just have a bump. You could just have the, you know, the bump and the roughness map. You can include colour in it. You can do all sorts of things. So, you know, for you cloth people out there, especially, you know, maybe the Marvellous Designer community, you know, I think this would be quite useful. So yes, I hope you found it useful, and I'll talk to you again another time.